Dunk.
Hey guys, gals and non-binary pals, I here with another memes build video. Now this one isn't really a meme in the sense that it uses weird skills. It's a charge paladin. It ended up being a charge paladin, but I really didn't want it. To be honest, I just wanted to work with Thorn, open wounds, because of the weapon that I found. Had it on an open barbarian, and then wanted to do open wounds Amazon, which I switched to Vengeance. Upcoming video. Shadowing, sorry. So then I switched into this guy because Thorns gives open wounds, and I thought, oh wow, let's experiment with that. And I had a little look around Reddit, and there's a guy, I can't remember his name, he's done a really good build guide about how the open wounds aspect is actually pretty whack. Don't buy into it. You want to go with the attacker takes damage still. Pretty useful as a paladin if you were to use Silence Rune Word and Thorns Armor, and then charge around doing that. And I was like, okay, because at first, as I said, I was standing around with Thorns and healing my Mercenary with Holy Light and having a lot of fun. And then I realised this isn't going to cut the cheese in hell. And I did look at his build, sort of the crossover between, you know, the Thorn synergies, charge synergies. Oh, they actually work really well together. So, you know, I'll knock up something. Contrary to this guy's advice. The open wound stuff does tick pretty well. Charge isn't the best application for it, because you're bouncing between packs not very well because of the way the mechanics of how charge work. You can't really pass through anything. You can sort of joust through, create pockets of bleeding enemies. Charge does so much damage, I find you just wreck things and collapses. The best part about it is when ranged attackers, quill rats, shoot you from a distance, which are usually a menace because you're charging stuff around here, stuff shooting you from over here. When it does, they get wrecked. It's hilarious. So that's one of the reasons why I kept the Thorns open wounds thing, just for that. I'm charging around wrecking stuff. Thorns is helping me. Right, so I'm going to try and stick to the correct format, which I believe starts off with skills. Sorry, my brain scrambled. It's boxed. Yay for summer, bad for brain. So, skills, here we go. So, defensive oratory. We have one in prayer, one in cleansing. I don't understand people who go without cleansing on a paladin. It's a fantastic skill. My god, use it, people. Anyway, sorry. So we're maxing Defiance and we're maxing Vigor, which is the last thing we are doing, because again, we're a bit low level still, but it's still working pretty great. So 1 point into Defiance and Vigor into get over. 1 point in Salvation for when I'm being party friendly and someone might need some res, and 1 point Redemption when I need to suck up some. I don't have very good mana character. Damn good leech. So, offensive auras. We have max Thorns and we've max Might. As you can see, I only have very minimal plus skills with this. I believe it's just from my armor. The rest of my gear is focused on open world. So yeah, max Thorns and max Might. Might. Synergy to charge. You can see there. So we've got 1 point Joust for maneuverability, repositioning the Merc and etc. And max charge. Vigor and Might. Thorns is Might and Defiance. Yeah. Max Thorns and charge first, then max Might, and then like I said, after that, just those two. And jobs are good, people. There will be some points left over, I believe, so I was going to put them into these. A 2-2-2, I believe. You might even get as far as 4-4-4, because we are quite low level still. So, yeah, we can get some nice res capping. Or slam into cleansing. Again, I'm a huge fan of cleansing. Did I make that obvious a minute ago? Cleansing's fantastic. So yeah, that's the skills. Pretty simple stuff. Now we'll go on to the gear. So I got this bad boy. Like I said, pretty much at the start of the season. And I was like, right, I'm building an open wounds character. Even though the open wounds roll was actually incredibly low. I believe it rolled 1060. So 10 off of the minimum. I was like, wow. But it was 6 sockets. I couldn't resist, you know. I wanted to get that speed up. But, you know, I think I had a bunch of Shale and ED IS jewels in on the Barbarian character. It was a wolf, open wounds wolf, and it didn't really work either, because applying that with Feral Rage through the Barbarian helmet, Wolf Howl Fury Visor, it was fun, but it was like, eh. And then I put it on this guy, and it doesn't really, like I said, work that well on this guy. But again, Thorns is great. Shut up, Dean. So yeah, I stuffed it full of open wounds jewels, one shale in it because charge breakpoints are pretty crazy. I've never been particularly au fait with charge, but it was quite slow, like any speed in it. Then I slammed shale rune in, went up like 2 breakpoints. I'm not going to argue, just going to get on with it. So yeah, many open wounds jewels as I can. It's pretty nifty. Crown of Ages, because you need some damage reduction and some resistances because you can't use a shield, so 2-handed axe. This one I actually got off of my friend. It was unslammed. My friend Lucino, he's very generous. He wanted some set pieces and some other bits and pieces for it, so I plowed him with a bunch of stuff and he gave me stuff back and it all got a bit crazy. But yeah, I slammed it. And then I got as much, the same roll of enhanced defense as I did on the one I bought for a Vex. And I was like, oh jeez. So yeah, it is what it is. Couldn't get a good slam. Universe was telling me just, it's got to be, dude. Saracens, it was for the attributes and the enhanced physical damage. I had a really nice crafted Paladin amulet, +2 skills, resistances, huge AR, all that good stuff, and I slammed it and it bricked. And I didn't have anything to put in here when I was going through Nightmare. And I got this Saracens randomly. Again, the resistances didn't roll very well at all, and the slam is terrible. But I just left it on in Nightmare and never really took it off. And I was like, because the 12 tool attributes really helps you get your, these heavy boys on. So I was like, we'll keep it, fine. I'm okay with it. So we got Chains of Honor. All self-found by me, this is. So the armor base isn't brilliant. 10% loricated mail, but again, it's all solo self-found type stuff. I found a bunch of bear runes. Well, actually, I found a bunch of nice stuff and traded for bear runes. So, sort of self-found. But yeah, so we needed the res, really. And I'm a big fan of Chains of Honor. It's such a good rune word. Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything you need on it. Life leech, strength again to put gear on and stuff. Most importantly, the 53 res. So, stuff there. We have some Gore Riders. Again, same story with these. I couldn't slam any better than defense. I was like, what the hell's going on here? They want me to have high defense, clearly, so I just went with it. But obviously, open wounds there. Chance of open wounds and open wounds damage per second, which rolled reasonably well. So that's our first piece of open wounds gear to complement this. This lovely Bulkathos Deathband for some ED and attack rating. Attack rating's kind of low on charge. I hate charging in and then not, it's pretty bad. I like to get my hits in. So yeah, Bulkathos for that reason. Blade Buckle is the only piece of gear, again, coming up through Nightmare, I kept on for the attacker takes damage, because it's quite a big chunk at 460. I mean, I have not invested in it, so if you're going to invest, do one or the other. As I said earlier, do open wounds or attacker takes damage. Don't try and mix both. But I just didn't want to take it off. It's adorable. And the faster hit recovery really helps. So I was like, yeah, keep it on. Ravenfrost for Cannot Be Frozen. AR, of course, Dex, all that good stuff. Be gear on. Drax for the massive open wound stuff going. And also the massive life leech and life after each kill. Rubbish slam, but we'll ignore that. I couldn't get better. Bricking these all season. But this one, 30 strength, which is such a good bonus. It's 50 strength to put on Vampire Bone Gloves. And then after that, you get a bonus of, well, in this case, 30 strength. I'm like, oh. So, yeah, I think tactically to put gear on, we're doing really well from all the pluses and bonuses here. Yeah, we get a bit of strength and dex from Blade Buckle too. Another reason it stayed on. Let's go on to the weapon switch. As usual, good old spell steal. So I've got teleportation, so I can get over walls that Joust won't go over, and more importantly, some amplified damage charges. So it's reducing enemies' physical resistance by 28%. It's usually enough to break most physical immunity. And that super strong stuff that has stone skin and physical immunity just can't break. That's where the Mercenary comes in. Shiny. Get to him. So, charms. They're a bit rubbish, but I've got a nice combat skiller. Combat skillers are actually pretty bad for this, but you're actually better off with things like this. So this bad boy I rolled with PGMs the other day. I love charm PGM rolling. So yeah, we got a couple of things like that. 9 and 10 maxes. We got some 3 maxes going on. We've got some all resi little ones to make up for not having our torch yet. Again, we'll earn the torch, but once the torch goes in, we can pull out these all reses and replace them with 3 maxes. A couple of combat skillets, and then some res to make up for what I was lacking, and then lifey boys. Bit of life. Onto the Mercenary. So Mercenary, as you can probably see from the shiny, is a full IK Mercenary. Now, you probably think it's a bit cheap, dude. And I say, well, it's a big build. You know me, I'm very cheap with these kind of things. You could get a better merc by a country mile. But I love a good IK Mercenary. Very stout. He kicks out a decent bit of damage. Doing pretty good. So I got a 6-socket one. Again, I found this in a public map and people just don't pick them up. And I slammed it and was like... So I filled it full of ED jewels with min-max, as you can see. So 46 minimum and 36 maximum. It's pretty nuts. But it's a nice solid damage range there. And some increased attack speed on top. So it's 80%. See, I love that weapon. It's fantastic. Helmet with a really good physical damage taken reduced by 4 corruption. A couple of rubies in it, as you can see, for the 76 life to keep it up and alive. Fast hit recovery corruption on the soul cage, which I put a Larzac hammer socket into and put a further shale rune in. So it was 26 fast hit recovery corruption, total 46, to get his breakpoints up. We'll look at his breakpoints in a sec. So we got some max fire resist slammed booties, which, you know, just a little tickle extra, just to help him against those nasty fire mobs. Some magic find on his Immortal King's belt. I've not managed to slam better. It was actually a recent upgrade, so was this. The gloves are 21 to life, which again I was quite happy with because, you know, as much life as possible to keep him in the fight. So yeah, my Mercenary does 5.3k damage there, and again the reason I said that I've gone IK is because of the bonuses on the weapon. Get huge magic, poison, cold, lightning, and fire damage there. So that when I can't break something physical, or just, you know, struggling, I'm doing the physical damage, doing the elemental damage. He also does a pretty handsome amount of physical damage too. So we'll just quickly do his breakpoints, then go on to mine. So he's got a 32% physical damage reduction, only 10 MDR, which is brilliant. Got some heavily overstacked reses, so when conviction's on him, he's still in the fight. He's on the 86 fast hit recovery breakpoint, and he has a 10 frame concentrate because it's the might Mercenary. See, so he gives me might so that I get damage and he gets damage. I give him Thorns so that he gets to laugh when things are slapping him and they're bleeding to death all around him. Because he's not whirlwinding in and out of packs and he's standing there tanking, he gets hit a lot, which means he gets thorned a lot. Now the only problem with that is his Thorns damage is only from the Thorns aura. I truly wish that, moving on to breakpoints for me, that 2,820 that I get was transferred to him. Sadly, it's not. If I do that, he's only getting the 247. See, like if we step out, yeah, 559 is when now he's getting party open 312 added to him, which is a real shame. I mean, that's still not terrible. I mean, again, I'm the one standing around being a dingleberry with nearly 3,000 open wounds damage happening all the time, I might add, because I've got a sat over percent there, 117% chance to get open wounds. So it happens all the time, which is really, really nice. Yeah, so I have 25% physical damage reduction from my gear and things, but no MDR, so I get slapped around a little bit. But I do have a massive 20 life leech, which is still 10 in hell because it's halved in hell, which is lovely. And I get 9 life per kill, 3 mana per kill. So this guy has really good sustain. I'm very happy with it. 48% faster hit recovery breakpoint, which isn't terrible. 86 would be way better, but 48 is perfectly fine. perfectly manageable. Anything lower than that, you don't really want to. So, faster run walk, as you can see, it's nearly 50. If I had a small charm with 350, but that doesn't matter because we're maxing as a synergy, so we can run around super fast. Deadly Strike and Crushing Blow are very tiny, so I wouldn't be relying on them. So, map talk. With this one, it's going to be very simple and very quick. You just go into here and you go, some eyes, pick a map. Because you're physical, and then your mercenary is the other elements if you can't break the physical. So you can pretty much do any map you want. I mean, Demon Road at the moment is fantastic. So obviously, physical immunes are absolutely lacking there, as you can see. 45%. And then everything else, like I said, the mercenary takes care of. So yeah, we'll do some example gameplay now then, just to show what's up. So yeah, we've got the teleport and switch, as I said, to reposition the merc. Let's say these are physical immunes coming up, we just posh that out, then charge in. There we go, mercenary got hit straight away, so because of IK armor giving enchant when struck, we've now got even more AR. Fantastic. So yeah, we're splashing away. You know, if I can get an example, like try and hit something, let it blip. Oh. I'll just stand here. Now this is a problem. Mages, obviously they're shooting an elemental fire attack. That doesn't work with Thorns. They just hit. And while I'm doing example gameplay, we'll talk a little bit about Thorns mechanics. So they have changed it in Season 10. Oh, here we go. Mercenary, you go over there and stay there. See? I got hurt there, but look, blurp, they ticked down. It's lovely. But yeah, Thorns mechanics is you don't have to sort of be like, oh, no blocking anymore for it to work, and low defense and all that. Because the chance happens, the check for it happens when they go to hit you anyway. It doesn't require them to hit. It's as they go to. That's pretty cool, right? So yeah, I just don't happen to be blocking with the shield by coincidence because of this big bad boy. But yeah, so charge mean you want to charge from as far away as possible to get that massive splash radiance. As you can see, they're melting there. I did the one here, I backed off. Let's see if I can. My mercenary's so helpful, he's not letting me do it. If I charge there and tell it now. Right. Okay. See them just ticking away down there? Lovely, and they're just dying because that Thorns damage, open wounds Thorns, sorry, is lovely. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, you can just charge through maps with foolish abandon until you come across a physical immune, and then you either, like I said, lay down the curse like that. Big charge, let the mercenary deal with it because he's got the elemental, runs in, does the job. Yeah. Not the best way to build a charger, people. Really isn't. They're far from it. I think that's what makes this a meme. Oh look, opportunity to mind. Well, opportunity for him. Because obviously I'm lucky, I'm wearing Crown of Ages, so I get a 50% reduced curse duration, which is insane. So cleansing's pretty much for him these days, apart from when we're both poisoned. But anyway, as I say, it's not really a charger in the sense it's a charge build. Go out and look for an actual charge build. Charge as a skill complements the Thorns thing, so yeah, don't think of it as a charge build. Think of it as a Thorns meme. But yeah, hope you enjoyed watching. Thorns is something to be considered. It's a lot of fun. It really is. Have some fun with it. It's not all that scary. If you can try and think of, as I said, like a barbarian, for example, who has 2x silence weapon and Thorns armor, bramble armor, some other dotted about gear with attack takes damage / open wounds. That's also a fun build. Yeah. Don't sleep on Thorns.